Hey everybody, and welcome to my AEW review. Dynamite, we are finally back live again for AEW. Back in the Daly's Place Center, I see, back in Jacksonville, Florida. Honestly, that's probably the only other place they can go, but AEW is back up. It is back live, and a lot of returning faces, I see. No more Jericho on commentary, but we got a lot of people back on the show again. JR is back, Excalibur, and Tony Schiavone on commentary. More wrestlers, of course, sitting ringside behind the barricade. Got to stay a couple feet, 6 feet away from each other. And they were wearing masks. I know some people have been saying they were fans in the crowd tonight, which I'm not sure because I saw it later. Maybe they were like friends or family of, the wrestlers. I'm not really sure if there were fans they let in tonight. I'm sure it was strict testing before they even went back to the Daly's Place. I'm almost surprised because I think the government had something to do with it. I know it's Florida, but hey, but then again, apparently wrestling is an essential business in Florida. So hey, if WWE can do it, why not AEW, I guess? So it's Florida. Their wrestling is an essential business apparently. So there you go. But like I said, a lot of wrestlers were behind the barricade and everything. So we're back into the big open arena. So like I said, I know some people are gonna say it looks ridiculous in this giant ass building, but hey, the Khan family owns it. So what other place they're gonna use unless they use the same thing they did back in Atlanta? But we are live on this show, and what do we kick it off with? Cody Rhodes versus Joey Janella. I have a lot to say about this match, okay? Because there's some things that didn't make sense to me throughout all this. Because I can already tell how this was going to go. Listen, I'll say it right now. Cody carried this damn match, okay? It's fucking Janella, of all people. Alright? It's Janella. And I know a lot of pyro in this match, too. But yeah, Cody had pyro. But I feel like Cody had to carry this whole damn match, alright, against Janella, because listen, you've heard me talk about him before. I'm not really no fan of his, and I just don't think he's very good, because honestly I saw a lot of botches throughout this match also, and trust me, I saw at least 2-3 botches by him in this. But what got me about this, I'm surprised this match went on this long too, because I'm like, damn, this thing almost went like what, nearly 20 minutes. I don't have the full time of the match, but maybe if you count the commercials and whatnot, this one nearly 20 minutes. I know other thing people talked about in the crowd was what I believe where they talk about Nasty Leroy. I've heard of him online before, so I know a lot of people talking about that tonight. But yeah, I feel like this match went up nearly 20 minutes, I feel like. And listen, I get Cody trying to put over younger talent, trying to get them over and everything, and I understand that. But I just feel like Janella's just not one of those guys. Now, I'm not going to sit and shit on the match all the way. I thought it was somewhat good. I will say that. Just given who was, carrying it. But what got me is that I'm surprised it went this long. This match probably should have went maybe about, 7, maybe 8 minutes. And I felt like it went damn near almost 20 because, I kind of thought about tonight. Okay, Cody is in this tournament, right? And he's in the finals for this whole TNT championship. How is Joey Janela somewhat taking this guy to the damn limit for nearly going with him, okay? Like I said, I'm not saying that this was not that bad of a match, but I thought this could have went, could have shaved off a little bit of time from this, okay? Because, some just didn't make sense, all right? You're getting ready for this match against someone way bigger, as in Lance Archer, who was supposed to be a freaking killer out there, but, having Janella kind of taking Cody to the limit doesn't make a lot of sense. I know Cody's just let him get his shit in and, trying to get this over and trying to get him somewhere, but I don't know. I just wasn't buying it all the way from this, okay? So, yeah, it was okay for what it was, but I just thought Cody carried this damn match, all right? I thought he did. I just think Janella's shit. So, it was okay for what it was. It's better than seeing Janella in a hardcore match because that's honestly all he knows, and people know that. And, they try to put him in a regular match with people, but it's like I've said about before Janella, like when they put him against Moxley, Moxley carried it. When they put him against Kenny Omega, Omega carried that shit, okay? So it's Cody carrying this shit again, and I mean what I say about that. You don't believe me? Go back and look at it. I just don't think he should be, like, so even... My neighbor, he texted me this. He said, Janella's like, what, an undercard guy around here? He should be taking the top level, main event talent, as in Cody, to the limit. Like I said before, Cody's trying to get people over, but I kind of agree with that statement. Like, he shouldn't be taking the top guy right now in this tournament, or just the top level guy in general, to the limit, okay? So I do agree on that statement. But Cody Rhodes won. He got the Crossroads. I did like that moonsault he did off the stage, but Crossroads win. Cody wins from there. Next thing you know, they had a video package for Nyla Rose about her title reign and everything, about how the other women in the company right now, where they rank and how they're gunning for the championship themselves. But they talked about the ranking, where they at. Nyla Rose pretty much came out there and pretty much talked about this is a joke and everything, and talked about the video package and saying that she is the champion, and no one can stop her. No, I should use the word her lightly, maybe. For obvious reasons I'm sure people are going to tell me about, but I'm going to continue on. I'm not going to go into that right now, but But Rose told Shivani to stand back and, let Rose do what Rose got to do, basically. And pretty much destroy and everything and let her do her job. Nyla Rose went against Kinzie Page. Basically, this was a big squash match. Killed this girl, I will say, by the way, also. But, big senton bomb. Pretty much went for the pin, but picked Page back up. Hit her with 2 power bombs and a beast bomb. Killing this girl out here. So a very big squash match for Nyla Rose, at least to make it look strong out there. Even the other, I know the other wrestlers out there, from Chris Downer and Karu Shida, watching on, pretty much are still gunning for the championship. Next, though, we got a promo from MJF, who was sitting in a chair, obviously, which had a green screen behind him with a TV and stuff behind it. But he talked about being in this industry and how other wrestlers have pretty much say, this 24-year-old, comparing him to legends and whatnot right now. But, him being 24 years old, saying they taking a spot and everything. He said, I'm not The Rock, I'm not Piper, I'm not Ric Flair and everything. And, he's something in this business has never seen before, okay? He can sit back and sip some wine because he knows when he returns to work, that his throne will be left without a solitary scratch, he says, which was kind of funny. They actually brought a real throne in after they took the chair away from him. And he says next week he's going to be back. That he's going to be back for his throne, which he kind of stood up and kind of hurt his foot a little. But MJF said he's back. They want to compare him to all these legends and everything, but he's not. He's going to tell you what this 24-year-old man can do right now, being one of the youngest people in the business. Basically, he's going to just show out next week. They also showed a Shawn Spears promo. I have no idea what he's doing nowadays, but I guess he's still going after Cody, even though he keeps losing to him. But he talked about the match between Dustin and Archer, how Cody left his brother for dead and everything. Spears wouldn't have done it to his brother, and that Cody not throwing in the towel made him selfish, and that, because, he's trying to carry on the Rhodes legacy by himself, and that Dustin's career, it's over, and, he couldn't live with himself after what Cody did to him. They then went to Tony Schiavone, who was standing with MJF, Wardlow, and Shawn Spears standing there. Spears pretty much talked about MJF's comeback story. It's the greatest in sports history. MJF agreed with him. He's overhealed. He's ready to come back, and now he's going to be wrestling next week. And Schiavone told him, yes, you will wrestle next week, but you also have an opponent for Double or Nothing in the next few weeks against Jungle Boy. MJF spit out his drink and pretty much was pissed off that he has to face Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing. Next, though, we got Jon Moxley coming through which is a crowd somewhere in this building, next to the big football field in Jacksonville. For the Jaguars and everything. But Jon Moxley went against Frankie Kazarian. The other SCU guys were out there with him. I'm almost surprised Scorpio Sky didn't have a match after they hyped him 2 weeks with video packages. But good to see a lot of guys back on TV, I will say that. Mox and Kazarian had a very, very good match. Ate up a lot of time, I will say that. But a very enjoyable match in general. I liked really good. Really good. but I didn't think it was really going to go nearly about 16 minutes, though. I didn't expect that to happen, but Mox still ended up winning with the Death Rider for the win. But I think the big thing is after the match, because the Creepers are the Dork Order. I'm sorry, not Dork Order, the Dark Order. Oh, where's my words there? The Dork Order. But they attacked Moxley then and start beating him up, jumping him. SCU tried to come out for the save, but they got outnumbered. You know, it's kind of funny where all the other faces to help, even though they're sitting out there in the crowd. Why don't they just jump the barricade and come in? You know, I'm sure a lot of the guys with faces. I guess Billy Gunn and his son and other people, you know, have a problem with the Dark Order. Maybe they weren't on this show, but pretty much the Creepers or whatnot pretty much beat up Mox and SCU, beating them up, jumping them, and just knocking them everywhere. Next, we got Vince Brody Lee McMahon there. I guess he wasn't Vince this time, but he still came out with a suit and pretty much took a chair and hit Christopher Daniels in the head with it, leaving him on the ground, and he got in the ring and pretty much with a big discus lariat on Mox. He got on the microphone, pretty much says, "I'm here to answer the bounty that you put on your own head last week. And that there's no crowd to save you or energy to lift you up. No one is here. That the energy, this is the energy that you feel now. And that Mox is not the same, you know," he told Mox, "I'm not the same person I, you know, used to be. We're not from the past. Basically, we're about to get Wyatt Family versus Shield 2.0. But, you know, Brody Lee pretty much went on to say, I'm now a leader, okay? I make lives extraordinary, and that these men would stand up to sacrifice themselves to do that. But now there's something I want from you. I want that AEW title, and, you know, Moxley is the unfortunate soul that I must take it from." And pretty much, you know, he said that he's a reasonable man and everything. So he challenged Jon Moxley for the AEW title. Because if he is not, because he doesn't even know what he is right now, right? Are you an actor, an MMA fighter, a wrestler? I don't know what you are right now, okay? You're just a scared little boy that grew up without a father in Cincinnati. And pretty much says, you know, just challenge or we will make you do this. Either you accept the challenge or we'll make you accept it. So he threw the microphone down and Mox said, "Dude, all you have to do is ask." He started laughing. Brody Lee kicked him, and pretty much, I guess he will get a title shot at Double or Nothing. So yes, Jon Moxley versus Brody Lee, or some people like to call it Wyatt Family versus Shield 2.0. I like to call it, but at least I'll say it's about Brody Lee. Brody Lee came off more of a cult leader, like I kind of said maybe a week before with his promos. It's actually a live promo this time, so at least he didn't come out doing another parody events, because I saw this motherfucker came out, started waving his arms all over the place. I'm about to call him Vince 2.0 again, but at least he came off at least more of a cult leader, and now he wants the championship. So I guess there will be a match between him and Moxley at Double or Nothing. So we'll see what comes from that, since he's already getting a title shot. I don't know how many matches he has, or if he's even the number one contender. But hey, the match is official. I don't know how this ranking system works all the way around here, but apparently Brody Lee is next, or maybe I've missed something. Next we got, this is a thing I've heard a lot about tonight. Brandi Rhodes, where she was in a corporate setting somewhere, talking about Jake Roberts and Lance Archer, and talked about, you know, her being a damsel in distress half the time, having her husband save her and whatnot, that, you know, Cody is the good guy and that Jake and them are the bad guys, and that, listen, it's not 1991 anymore, okay? Because if you slap me, Jake, I'm gonna slap you back, alright? And her husband is the good guy that goes around, you know, kissing babies and everything, and doing good, but I'm here to challenge now, as she says. And, you know, I'm not Caesar or Caesar's Cleopatra or Samson's Delilah and everything. That I am Brandi Rhodes, and pretty much something about once her mom just told her a long time ago, say, you know, don't fuck with the wrong people or something like that, she said. And that Jake Roberts needs to keep her name out his dirty little mouth. So are we setting up a match between Brandi Rhodes and Jake Roberts or Lance Archer or something? Where are we going with this, okay? Because, listen, now it's like corporate Brandi now. One minute you got Nightmare Brandi, now you got corporate Brandi. And, you know, I thought this to myself tonight. I'm seeing a lot of Stephanie McMahon vibes going around with this for some reason. I said, and I looked up with the way they did this promo, I kept sitting there wondering, why is she coming off like Stephanie McMahon for? Something about that gave me a vibe about that for some reason. And this promo was just kind of whatever, and I don't know what they're trying to make out of this, but apparently they're trying to build Brandi to face somebody. It's either going to be her versus Jake Roberts or her versus Lance Archer. This is what this promo looked like, okay? That's what it looked like out there. So I don't know. It's like I don't want to call her a wannabe Stephanie all the way, but I just got a vibe of how they just did the whole corporate thing and corporate Brandi now. 1 minute's Nightmare Brandi, now it's corporate Brandi. Am I really down with this all the way? Not really half the time. I don't know. I question half the stuff Brandi does in this company right now, or what she has done in this company, I should say. I know the Nightmare Collective was the worst thing, but now we got corporate Brandi. We'll see what comes from that. But Lance Archer ended up going against QT Marshall. I swear he killed some guy in the crowd, but you know, Archer went against Marshall. I wouldn't say it was a squash match all the way. It was actually pretty good. But, you know, Lance Archer ended up winning. After the blackout, he hit the EBD claw and pretty much won, slamming Marshall's head on the mat. I don't know why they keep having Britt Baker coming around with shoes, hitting people all the time, mostly the Rhodes family, and, you know, Brandi threw in the crowd. But after the match then, Baker came in and DDT Brandi to the ground. Threw Brandi inside the ring then. Jake Roberts had a snake then. It wasn't Damian, of course, but he took the snake. Classic Jake Roberts, I should say. That was pretty cool to see. So I enjoyed Jake. I enjoyed the snake out there and everything. Some people wonder where Cody was or whatnot. But I guess the building is so big, it took him a minute to get out there. A lot of people were questioning that. But I did like the snake and everything. It's Jake Roberts. Like I said, classic Jake Roberts, of course. Like I said, it's not Damian, but pretty big snake, though, I will say that, crawling all over Brandi. So that's something I did like throughout this show. I don't know why I'm seeing some type of Jake Roberts versus Brandi Rhodes feud going on, but Jake putting the snake on him was pretty cool. I will say that. The snake lives. Not Damian, but it's a snake. They went over some matches for Double or Nothing. Taz pretty much talking to Darby Allin about losing to Cody last week. He said he could help, but Darby walked off on him. Next, the main event, though. Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara, Les Sex Gods. It was cool to hear Judas again. With Jake Hager winning against Matt Hardy. Or we're going to get to a lot of Matt Hardys, because I don't know what type of gear he came out with first. But he was teaming with Kenny Omega in a street fight. One thing throughout this match is when I keep saying Cody, but Chris Jericho came towards the ring, and for some reason that Pineapple Pete guy hit him. I don't know why they set up a feud with these guys. I guess it's going to be a match with... But yes, Jericho's feud with, I guess Pineapple Pete is going to continue, but... you know, this is a street fight out there, which someone got strange throughout at one point, because, one thing from this, Jericho... He threw Matt Hardy through the entrance ramp or something, and Omega was left out there with Guevara and Jericho. But then minutes later, Jericho had a lion sawed on Omega. We got regular Matt Hardy, as in tag team Hardy Boy version 1 Matt Hardy out there to help start hitting Twist of Fates on everybody out there from Jericho and whatnot. But, you know, Guevara broke up the pinfall and everything. Omega hit it with a big Snapdragon, of course. Several Snapdragons and everything. Jericho pretty much came back with his baseball bat and everything, because he had a baseball bat out there with him, hitting Omega with it. And, you know, JR said it was legal and whatnot. But, you know, throughout this match, Matt got a ladder in. He got a ladder, he put Guevara on it, and it pretty much he had a big dive onto Guevara, onto the ladder then. Not the ladder, onto the table then, after climbing the ladder and jumping on it, but... Jumped on him then, but, you know, they went for the pinfall, but Hager pulled Guevara out of there. Of course, then, through commercial, we got the brawl. But through the commercial, they fought somewhere back in the back, and they got the crowd, or, you know, the wrestlers or whatnot surrounding them and everything. And at one point, Hardy hit Jericho, he hit Matt with a pipe and everything. And then, for some reason, Jericho got like a bag of ice out of a cooler, and he hit Matt Hardy with it. Then, next you know, Jericho and Jake Hager throw Matt Hardy inside the cooler so they can deal with Kenny Omega then. And next, it was a few, brawl between Guevara and Omega. He threw Omega into an ATM, got some cash, and hit him with it. And then Omega ran into a pillar then. He pretty much powerbombed him into the garage door gate then, which is a very painful bump, I should say. Hager tried to charge into him, but Omega pretty much threw him into Guevara, hit a big V trigger on Guevara, leaving him on the ground then. And if for some reason, Jericho got a big go-kart and ran over, maybe I shouldn't say ran over or tried to kill Omega with it, but he hit Omega with the golf cart he was driving with. And pretty much took Omega and suplexed him then after that, which they pretty much started beating him up, and Jericho put a big pine cone or a big orange cone on his head before hitting him with it, which is pretty funny. Omega hit Jericho with one of them wet floor signs that looked pretty painful, I will say that. But then next thing you know, throughout this match, Matt Hardy is broken. Listen, now that didn't make a lot of sense. I didn't mind the brawl or whatnot, but we went from some type of version of Matt Hardy, then we went to regular Matt Hardy, and now we get to broken Matt Hardy. Did we need this many changes? Which I get, it's Matt and everything, but did we need 3 Matt Hardy changes throughout this entire match, just so he could become broken? And everything, but since Matt Hardy was broken, then after that, how can I say this? He was broken. Trying to remember what else after that, but I think they got into the golf cart then, because Matt got out of it. He got into the golf cart. Let me say that. Him and Omega. And then they drove and hit Guevara, which looked very painful, by the way, how Guevara smacked his head off the window, but that was pretty cool. But they basically tried to run over and kill Sammy Guevara. And next thing you know, they had Jericho. And then after that, they put him onto the table, which I thought this was actually pretty cool here. Omega hit the switch to elevate the cart up and hit a big moonsault, Kota Ibushi style, as some say, onto everybody to the ground. That was pretty cool, I will say that. But Omega was setting up Jericho for the one-wing angel. Next, Santana and Ortiz, a good thing they got out of New York, good on them, pretty much showed up and attacked Omega then. So all the inner circle was jumping Omega and Matt Hardy. They ended up hitting a big shield power bomb onto Omega through the tables then. No, they hit Matt Hardy through the tables with the shield power bomb, but then they went back after Omega then, power bomb on the top of the golf cart, threw him on the ground, picked Omega up, hit him with the Judas effect, and the inner circle won. And as they stood near the football field at the TIA bank, bank field and everything, if you look behind them, their names are on the graphics, the inner circle, as they posed and gave a big middle finger, fuck you, before signing out and ending the show. I will say this was an insane brawl. This reminded me of something I would have seen in the Attitude Era. Okay, now did the golf cart thing get a little kind of crazy sometime? Yeah, but hey, I've seen that at WrestleMania 17 with that triple threat for the hardcore title. I've seen golf carts in wrestling before, but this was a giant brawl. I think it was better than the street fight they had last week with that, Jimmy Havoc and, what's his face there, Sabian going against the Best Friends. I thought that was better than what was on last week. Maybe because they went around the building, or maybe it was a better brawl. I will say that. It was a better brawl. The golf cart things look a little silly sometimes. Yes, it did. Was it somewhat funny? Depending on how you want to look at it, then yes, if we're running people over with cars on this show nowadays. But I did like the last shot of it with them standing in front of the field, the inner circle, and their names on the back, and just put a big middle finger, fuck you, to everybody in the camera, though. But I did enjoy this. This was a brawl. Like I said, it was a brawl and everything. They did the best way they could and put the fans out there, the wrestlers out there as fans, to see where this can go. It wasn't that bad, all right? It was a couple of good spots here and there and whatnot. But running people over the golf cart, though, crazy, I should say. Crazy, though. But as for the rest of AEW, though, other than this big brawl in the end, I did enjoy, of course, Jake Roberts with the snake. Who else was on this show? It's like I forget sometimes. I don't know why. But like I said, the main event itself was good. The Roberts thing after Lance Archer's promo. Not sure about corporate branding. That's probably a negative for me on that one. I'm not sure. Jon Moxley's, I guess, Brody Lee challenged him. Jon Moxley's pretty good. the match with Kazarian's alright. I just thought it ate up a lot of time. MJF, of course, he'll be back next week. Like I said, I've already said about Cody earlier, but yeah, man, Janella just not cutting now. I'm sorry, I'm just not going down with that all the way, but still a good match from Cody Rhodes out there and everything. But it was still a very good show, very good show for AEW tonight. I will say that. So yes, very good show, especially with it being live tonight. Still, like I said, some positives and negatives here and there, but it was cool to actually see it live again. They actually had some better people on this show than they had in the last set of tapings. I don't know if it's going to be taped after this, but this was live tonight. Like I said, I'm sure it was a lot of strict testing and everything before doing the show tonight, you know, with the virus and whatnot, but I'm sure they had everybody tested and make sure everything can go as according to plan. I'm sure it could be a lot of social distancing issues with this show, but you know, we'll see what comes from that. But other than that, I'm done with this review of AEW. I'm out here. See you guys later. Comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think about the show. Follow me on Twitter at Hood9890 and tell me what you think about Dynamite and what do you look forward to Double or Nothing coming up in the next few weeks. Okay, so I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.